Hello, guys. This is William Bailey. I'm going to be talking about the power of money in Spanish soccer. It's for my sports economics class, ECP 3006, CRN 5112. I hope you guys enjoy this topic. All right, so we're going to take a peek into the overview on how this presentation is going to go. We're first going to discuss the soccer business model compared to the others, such as NFL and MLB. Then we're going to compare the top four salary budget teams to the bottom four in the league, and then try to build a correlation of those teams on performance and salary budget. Then we're going to take a look at what effect this has on the competitive balance of the league and if the fans still go to the games. And then we're going to wrap it up with a little conclusion.
All right. So you know how in the NFL they have the share revenue where the owners keep some percentage of their gates, but then they give most of it to the rest of the league, and it's out of the pool. The MLB does kind of the same thing, and gets about 360 million, and then they allocate it to all the different teams in the league. And then some markets get more because of their size. Well, in the Liga, what happens is that they individually sell their media rights. So teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona can get usually about 140 million euros for themselves each one. As bigger clubs, which allows them to buy those more high profile players. But the smaller teams, such as Rayo Vallecano, only gets 14 million euros. Now you can't really buy players of high stature with that because even Messi gets more than that a year. So that really gives them the competitive advantage to the bigger teams than it does the smaller teams.
Here we have the top four salaries for teams in La Liga. Number one, Real Madrid, from 190 million euros from 2012-2013 to 220 million euros in 2013-2014. Number two, we have Barcelona, 180 million euros in 2012-2013. And then they had 195 million euros in 2013-2014. Number three, we have Atletico Madrid with 66 million euros in 2012-2013 and then 72 million euros from 2013-2014. Valencia was number four on our list with 50 million euros in 2012-2013, and then they had actually a decrease to 45 million euros in 2013-2014. Here we have the bottom four teams' salary range. There's Lecce, Levante, Valladolid, and Real Vallecano. All these teams have about the same of 11 million euros to 14 million euros budget for players, so they really can't compete with the higher leagues such as Barcelona and Real Madrid. Here we have the results from the past years of 2004 to 2014 of the top four salary teams. As you can see, we have Barcelona, Real Madrid, Valencia, and Atletico Madrid. As discussed before, you also see that Barcelona has the most championships out of all of four of the teams, but you have Real Madrid as well having quite a few championships as well. You have Atletico Madrid with, coming into a few couple terms now here with the third place 2 years ago and the champions last year. Valencia, obviously a little far behind, but they have shown quite promise, getting third place in 2005 to 2006 and 2009 to 2012. This kind of shows you how the higher results here from these two teams of Barcelona and Real Madrid have definitely gave them the edge in recruiting bigger players and gaining more championships as well. Alright, so here we have the results for the past years for the bottom four salary teams. First, let's just talk about Lecce. Since they've been relegated from 2004 to 2013, they really haven't been able to get anything put together with the amount of money they can spend. I mean, yes, this past year they were able to get in the mid-size of the table, getting 10th out of 20th, but for a 10-year span from 2004 to 2013, they weren't even in the league. I mean, this is talking about not getting enough talent, whatever. They just were not simply in the league. Rayo Valenco, on the other hand, 2004 to 2011 was a shorter span that they were being relegated. Once again, it may have been contributed to the little amount of money they were able to spend. But from 2011 to 2014, they've obviously made strides into staying in the league. Obviously may have brought in some more talent. Levante, had its spurts where it was still relegated from 2004 to 2006, came back in the league in 2006 to 2007, finished 15th, barely avoided relegation, but they still avoided it. But then in 2007 to 2008, they finished dead last and ended up being in relegation. They waited a couple years. To 2011, they decided to finish sixth, which is their best run so far in this time span, and have yet to fall into relegation again, so maybe they have brought in some older, experienced players with the money they're able to spend. Valladolid is relegated in the beginning from 2004 to 2007. And, they finished kind of lower on the table from 2007 to 2009, but still avoided relegation. 2009, 2010, however, they finished 18th, which forced them to get relegated. 2010, 2011, they were unable to bring what they needed to stay in the league, and from 2012, 2013, they were barely able to stay out, finishing 14th. And then in 2000 and 2014, unfortunately, they finished 19th out of 20th and have been relegated. All right. So in the terms of competitive balance, yes, we would all love our teams to win every single year. But that would get boring. We would just know it wouldn't be really worth the money because we're like, hey, we're gonna win. We can just watch this from home. With the La Liga, the top three, four teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid, even when them winning, their fans will still be happy, but it's that competitive edge. They don't know if it's gonna be Barcelona on top with Real Madrid in the front, or Real Madrid in the front and Barcelona in the back, and maybe even Atletico Madrid pulling out a victory. Same goes for the bottom. Levante could be out of relegation for 10 years and they can never come into the league. But the fact that they're fighting, and the other teams, maybe just as bad, can still fight and earn that spot, the teams will keep going to the games, keep fighting, and still believing into their team. We've discussed how the power of money in Spanish soccer really has an effect on the result of who's being relegated and who's winning championships. Between the top four teams, you can see the Real Madrid or Barcelona win every year because of their financial capability to buy the best players possible. On the bottom end, it's a matter of who spends a small amount of money they have on the best talent they can afford and the grit of the players to avoid relegation. I would like to say that the correlation is higher in the top teams with respect to the amount of money and wins than the amount of money and wins for the lower team, but I can see how money affects them both. Alright, guys, well, that was the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in your comments, and hope to see you soon.